This video is a note-by-note breakdown of the guitar solo starting at 3 minutes and 16 seconds in the song. The rhythm guitar and bass parts are a recurrence of parts already played in other segments of the song. They were detailed and explained in the other videos of this 5-part analysis and will not be further expanded upon in this section. The tuning used in this video and on the record is E-flat and 440 wavelength calibration. If you're unsure how to tune the E-flat, please watch the video on this channel. E-flat tuning and enharmonic notes for guitar and bass by Marc Wilson, and then return. Guitar 2 is going to play the first half of the solo. We're going to start out by placing the first finger on the A string at the 5th fret. We're going to pick this note one time down on 1, and we're going to do a series of hammer-ons with the 3rd finger onto the 7th fret of that same string, and then pulling it off to go back to that note where the 1st finger is on the 5th fret of that string. This is what they call a trill, and this is what it's going to sound like. Notice that it was only picked on that first note. The 3rd finger is what makes that work. After we pull off of it, I'm giving a little snap like that. It's almost like picking the string with your left hand, but you're using your finger instead. We're going to do those as 16th notes, counted 1 eana, 2 eana, 3 eana, 4 eana. With a 4-count lead in, let's do the solo up into that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 eana, 2 eana, 3 eana, 4 eana, 1 eana, 2 eana, 3 eana, 4 eana. From this point, the 1st finger is going to go to the D string at the 7th fret. We're going to pick that one time, then do a hammer-on with the 3rd finger to the 9th fret, just like this. Then we're going to place the 1st finger on the G string at the 7th fret and do exactly the same thing there, just like this. Here's what you have. Those are 16th notes counted 1 eana. After we hammer onto this last note where the 3rd finger is right now, we're going to pick it one time and we're going to bend that note up a step and a half in pitch like this. Okay, we're bending it up so it sounds like the note on that same string to 12th fret here. Okay, let's do the solo up into that point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, when we release the bend, we're not necessarily going to let the bend sound as we bend it back down. But once we get back to that note's original unbent state, we're going to pick it one time. That'll be followed by the 1st finger on that same string at the 7th fret. We'll play that note one time. Followed by the 3rd finger on the D string at the 9th fret. We'll play that note one time. The middle finger will go to the 8th fret on that same string. That note will be played once. The 1st finger will go to the 7th fret on that same string. We'll play that once. And then we're going to shift down a step in pitch with that 1st finger to the 5th fret on that same string. We'll play that note once. This is what those last 6 notes after the bend are going to sound like. Just like that. And from that point, we're going to place the 3rd finger on the same string at the 7th fret. We're going to pick it and bend it up a full step, and then release the bend back to its original position. Let it sustain on the way down. Just like this. So this is what we have after that first bend. 6 notes in the bend. With a 4-count lead in, let's do the entire solo up to that point. 1, 2, 3, 4. From this point, we're going to place the 3rd finger on the B string to 10th fret. We're going to pick it and bend it up a step in pitch and let it ring out as about a quarter note, like this. And after we get it bent up a step in pitch, we're going to start picking it as triplets, counted 1 eana, 2 eana, 3 eana, 4 eana, for a measure and a half. And towards the end, what we're going to do is we're going to continue picking it But we're going to slowly release that bend back to the note's original unbent position as we're picking it. This is what we're going to have there. Once we get back to the original position of the note, we're going to pick it one more time and do a quick bend and release up a full step like this. Then we're going to pull off to the first finger on the 8th fret of that string, just like this. Then the middle finger is going to go to the G string on the 9th fret, just like this. Here's what we're going to have there. With a 4-count lead in, let's do the entire solo up to that point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, from this point we're going to put the first finger on the 12th fret of the B string. We're going to pick it twice really quick, and then do a hammer on to the 15th fret on that string and do a pull off back to the first finger, which is going to stay locked on the 12th fret, just like this. We'll pick it one more time and do another quick hammer and pull off like this. Okay, from that point we're going to place the third finger on that string at the 15th fret. We're going to pick it and bend it up a step and pitch like this. And we're going to release the bend and let it sustain out back to its original position. Here's what we have there so far. Okay, from this point we're going to place the first finger on the high E string at the 12th fret. We'll pick that note once, then we'll place the third finger on the 15th fret. We're going to bend that up, just like that. Here's what we have there so far. Okay, notice I bent it up a step and pitch and released it back to its original position. Then the first finger is going to go to the high E string on the 12th fret. We'll play that note one time. Then we're going to take that first finger and go to the G string on the 12th fret. We'll play that one time. And we're going to finish up guitar 2 by placing the middle finger on the 14th fret of that G string. We're going to pick it and bend it up like this and release the bend. Here's what we have there. Let's do the entire solo up to that point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Guitar 1 is going to pick up exactly where Guitar 2 left off. If you're listening to the studio recording of the song, it sounds like one guitar part played the entire solo from beginning to end, but that isn't the case. The third finger will go on the B string at the 15th fret, and the middle finger will go on the G string at the 14th fret. We're going to pick this double stop down on 1, and then we're going to release the pressure on those strings with those fingers, and we're going to do what they call ghost notes. Okay, what ghost notes are is when you click the strings instead of letting them ring out. We're going to play 2 16th notes as ghost notes, picked down and up like this. This is what we're going to have for those first 3 notes. From this point we're going to reapply the pressure with those 2 fingers and play the double stop one more time, picked down. Right after that the middle finger is going to go to the D string at the 14th fret. We'll pick that single note upwards. This is what the first 5 notes are going to sound like. From this point we're going to release the pressure on that middle finger, and we're going to make sure that we touch the open G string with it. We're going to play 2 more ghost notes, picked down and up. They're 16th notes. Right from there we're going to place the first finger on the D string to 12th fret. We'll pick that note downwards and do a quick hammer on with the middle finger, to the 14th fret. Here's what we got there. Just like that. Okay, here's what we have from the beginning of this part. Okay, what we're going to do after we do that hammer on is we're going to release the pressure on that string and touch the open G string again and do another ghost note. Okay, we're going to pick that down, then we're going to go back to that note where the middle finger is, pick that up one time. So right after that hammer on, this is what we got. Just like that. This is how that part sounds from the very beginning. Okay, from this point we're going to release the pressure on the middle finger again and touch the open G string again and play two more ghost notes. Pick down and up just like this. Okay, and at this point we'll take the middle finger to the 14th fret on the G string. We're going to pick it and bend it up a step in pitch like this. Then we're going to go back to its unbent state and pick it again. Then the first finger will go to the 12th fret on the G string. We'll play that note one time. Then the middle finger will go to the D string on the 14th fret. We'll play that note one time. This is what we're going to have there from the bend. Just like that. This is what the guitar part's going to sound like from the beginning. Okay, from this point, we're going to place the first finger on the B string at the 12th fret. We're going to play that note one time. The third finger will go to the G string at the 15th fret. We'll play that note once. The middle finger will go to the 14th fret on that last string. We'll play that note once. The first finger is going to go to the G string, same string on the 12th fret. We're going to play this note 3 times. And on the third time we're going to bend it up a step in pitch, let it sustain, and then release the bend back to its original position. This is what those last few notes are going to sound like. Just like that. This is what this part is going to sound like from the beginning. Okay, after we get to this point, we're going to pick that note one more time and do one more bend. Just like that. After we release the bend, we're going to pick it again. Just like this. From this point, the middle finger will go to the D string at the 14th fret. We'll play that note one time. And then the third finger will go to the B string at the 15th fret. We're going to play that note one time. So this is what those last few notes are going to sound like. From the beginning, this is what this part sounds like. We're going to continue the solo on guitar 1 from the point at which we just left off. Place the first finger on the high E string at the 12th fret. Pick this note downwards on 1, then with the third finger, hammer on to the 15th fret of that same string. After the hammer on, we're going to pick that twice, okay? Pick down and up as 16th notes. We're going to pick that note a third time, pick down, and right after that third pick of the note, we're going to bend that note up a full step in pitch. We're going to let that note sustain out as the bend is released back to the original position of the note. And from that point, we're going to pull off with that third finger back to the first finger, which should still be on the 12th fret of the high E string. We're going to finish that little lick by placing the third finger on the B string at the 15th fret. We'll pick that one time, we'll let it ring out for about a quarter of a measure, and then slide down and pitch. This is what we have there. From this point, we're going to take the first finger and go to the 12th fret. We're going to bar the D, G, and B strings, creating a bar chord. We're going to pick this down on 1, followed by 2/8 notes on the open E string, pick downwards. We're going to use palm muting there, and we're going to go back to this bar chord and pick it down again, just like this. From this point, we're going to pick the open E string one more time with another palm mute and a downstroke. We're going to depress the first finger onto the D string at the 12th fret where it already is, and just play that single note, followed by the entire bar chord on the next stroke. And we're going to let that sustain out for about a quarter of a measure before sliding down in pitch on that. This is what that part is going to sound like. Here's what we have so far in this part of the solo. From this point, we're going to go to the open E string and pick it. We'll let that ring out for about 1/8 of a beat. Then the first finger is going to go on the G note, which is the 3rd fret of the low E string. We'll pick that, and we're going to slide to the 5th fret. Then we'll take the 3rd finger and place it on the A string at the 7th fret. Here's what we have there so far. From this point, we're going to play 4 ghost notes as 16th notes. Pick down, up, just like this. Okay? And where the first finger is, on the A string at the 5th fret, we're going to pick that note. Then we're going to hammer on to the 7th fret with the 3rd finger on that same string. And then we're going to hit the open E string one more time with a palm mute. Here's what that part's going to sound like. Okay, this is how this part of the solo plugs in so far. From this point, we're going to take the middle finger and place it on the G string at the 2nd fret. We're going to pick that note, bend it up a step in pitch, let the note sustain out as we release the bend back to the original position of the note. Then we're going to pick the open high E string, just like this. Then we're going to go back to that note with the middle finger on the G string at the 2nd fret. And we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to pick it, bend it up a full step, release the bend back to the note's original position, then pull off of it to the open string, just like this. Here's what we have there so far. And we're going to finish that up by placing the middle finger on the D string at the 2nd fret. Here's what that is. Here's how this part of the solo plugs in. With a 4-count lead in, let's do that entire process on guitar 1 from the point at which guitar 1 enters the solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. When guitar 1 enters the solo at 3 minutes and 33 seconds, this is actually the halfway point of the solo. Guitar 2 is going to continue by feeding back. Since it's not possible to crank the amp up loud enough in this room to get feedback, I'm just going to show you the pitch of the feedback by playing single notes. The first pitch will ring out for a little over 2 measures, just like this. The next pitch will ring out for a few beats at this tone. And it will end right here. At that point, guitar 2 fades out altogether. There's actually a 3rd guitar going on to carry the rhythm. Since it wasn't physically possible to get that feedback, I just wanted to make you aware that it was there.